David, you are the one who bought at auction in 2001 a Cézanne, Montagne Sainte Victoire for Paul Allen, which was sold last week for 125 million. I would like you to comment. And you are the best to comment about the quality or not of a Cézanne because you are one of the authors of the Catalogue Raisonné.
Well, I was very pleased to be able to get this for Paul. I bought it in the sale of Heinz Berggrun's, part of Heinz Berggrun's collection. He gave a bunch of paintings to Phillips to sell, and this was one of his prized possessions. It had a very distinguished provenance before him. He used to belong to a well-known Greek collector called George Empirikos, who was also the owner of the famous Card Players, which was bought by Qatar several years ago.
For 250 millions, right?
So that's correct, yeah.
That's what we suppose.
And Empirikos sold this, I think, probably through the Aquavella Gallery to Heinz Berggrun, who had a very, very long and distinguished career as a dealer. And then in the last 10 or 15 years of his life, he became a collector, closed his gallery and concentrated on being a collector.
But what about the work itself?
The work is one of the very few paintings, views of Montagne Sainte Victoire, which will ever come up for sale. All the rest are in museum collections or public collections. As far as I know, there isn't a single one left in private hands.
There's no more Sainte Victoire in private hands?
No, not works of this quality.
I mean
there are some sketches and some watercolors and so on, but there are no fully finished views of the Montagne Sainte Victoire, I think, which are likely to come on the market.
Wow, okay, that's impressive. And what about...
In fact, Qatar bought the last one that came up for sale, which was from the collection of Edsel Ford in Detroit. This was a view of Montagne Sainte Victoire, a much sort of starker and more sculptural view of the mountain, much less green and softer colors. It looks much rockier in the Edsel Ford version.
When did they buy it?
I don't remember exactly, but I should think it was about 5 or 6 years ago.
Private sale?
They bought it privately. They bought it directly from the Edsel Ford house, which is in a suburb of Detroit, and which is a museum showing some of Edsel Ford's collection. And I believe they paid $120 million for theirs. So the price that Paul's sold for sometime later is exactly in line.
That's interesting. But the colors are very special. They are very pastel, in fact.
Yes, I mean, the colors of the Berggrun Paul Allen picture are much brighter and cheerier. You know, there's a bright blue sky and that wonderful cloud effect at the top. Contrasts with the green of the trees in the foreground. It's altogether a more colorful picture than the one that went to Qatar.
Who could have bought it?
I didn't hear your question.
Who could have bought this painting?
I still haven't been told where it went, who bought it. It is entirely possible that it was sold to the guarantor of the sale. because it didn't seem like there was a lot of bidding on it. In fact, it seemed like there was only one or two bids. And but I don't know. That's pure speculation.
And there was a more modest Paul Cézanne on 17th of November called La Maison aux Choux. Have you seen it?
I have seen it. I have seen it, and I don't remember what it sold for.
3.6 million.
Yeah, that's reasonable. That kind of painting by Cézanne is it doesn't have quite as much demand as it used to. And
more classic.
I think so, yes.
But there's this kind of scratch already, but it's a bit darker, right?
It is. I mean, it's a wonderful painting. It's got everything in it that you would want from a Cézanne. All the structure and the brushstrokes which are very typical of Cézanne. It's a little bit early, so it's sort of more on the impressionist side, and it was a little. It was a little bit. I would say a little bit on the dull side.
Okay, because it's surprising to be so inexpensive compared to the other, right?
Well, it is. There's only a few years difference in when they were painted. They're approximately the same size, and it's sort of difficult to explain why one of them brings $130 million and the other one only brings $3 million. It's a big difference.
We can't really explain, you think?
We can explain it. It's a difference in rarity and in quality. I mean, the Montagne Sainte Victoire was, I would say, close to a masterpiece. And the earlier landscape was more. It was a wonderful painting, but you will have many chances to buy a similar painting in the future.
Oh, okay. So one understand it. And also there's a kind of fetishization now of La Montagne Sainte Victoire, no?
Oh, definitely. Yes, yes. I mean, if it's a sort of one of his most famous subject, probably his most famous subject, along with the card players and the nudes.
And it's more sexy than his wife. I mean,
yes. Well, it was easier to paint than his wife because the mountain didn't move. He kept complaining that his wife moved.
Bon, merci beaucoup.
Are we done?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay.
Merci beaucoup.
You are very welcome.